Hi, everyone. So I'm here today with a person named Ben, who I've been speaking with for, I believe, over a year now. And he's a long COVID patient, and he has an incredible story. He's been through some very difficult times, but he has an incredible story to share because he's made improvements. And I want him to speak for himself and share how he's made those improvements and what he's done and hear a little bit about him. So, Ben, if you would like to tell me a little bit about yourself. So what was life like for you before COVID? And what time did you catch COVID? And what were your symptoms after the long COVID symptoms persisted?
First of all, hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, I am. My name is Ben, as Scott said, and I am 21 years old, and I'm originally from Kosovo. Ever since I was a kid and growing up, I was very healthy. I was outgoing, running, having fun with friends. It was normal. I didn't even have, getting a flu or something like that. Yeah, for sure. But more than that, no, not exactly. And 2019, when COVID really started hitting everywhere around the world, um, I came back from a place. Honestly, I didn't when I got the COVID, I didn't really think uh they usually tell us young people they will usually they
Get
don't
better.
need like hospitalized or like something like that. So like you can stay at home, it will go away in a few days, maybe a few weeks. And I really didn't think of it a lot.
Well,
Wait.
well, what I'm wondering about specifically, because I went back through our messages and we
All
had
right.
spoken many times over the past year, and almost every single message that I got from you over a course of a year, you were concerned with this feeling of breathlessness, and it was really hard for you to breathe. And I got like
Yeah.
message after message every single week. I'm having trouble breathing. What do I do? Can you describe that feeling?
It's a sort of like feeling that you just don't know exactly. You just can't catch your breath. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it's floating. You feel like not stable, and it's like it's all around your body and it's based on your movements. Like for example, if I lie down and I stay like that, there's no like I will be all right. But as soon as I stand up or walk, I felt this like feeling of like breathing going all around the chest, and then I was like shortness of breath, and I was sometimes getting worse. And then as long as I stay still, like sitting or lying down, I was fine. But as soon as I stand up or do those stuff, let alone do activities, I will just go out of breath quickly, like stairs. In the beginning, it was so horrible. If I like climb something or went through the stairs, I will like have to stop and like catch my breath for like a minute or two and then go again. I did chest x-rays. I did, I'm not gonna say every single test, but all those necessary ones, and they came out fine. And that was really like what really made me frustrated because I was like, all right, what is this? So the feeling was more of like floating and just feeling a tight chest between
And
if I walked or did
that
something
was
more than
that was
that.
your worst symptom that you experienced?
The worst symptoms was actually the breathing was one
Okay.
of the hardest things because I couldn't do. But then I also had like brain fog, vision problems, fatigue. I could sleep all day and then wake up and then go to sleep again. So yeah, I had all like multiple symptoms, but yeah.
Okay, so before you got COVID, before you got sick, were you ever
Yeah.
diagnosed with multiple chemical sensitivity, or did you have any allergies, or did you notice any sensitivities in your life before then?
Uh, not not really, but I think I did some tests growing up, and then the doctor said you are a little bit allergic to the dust. and some animals, which I think was dogs and cats. And we didn't really pay that much attention to it. When I growing up, I had to do those tests, and yeah, I didn't pay attention. But I noticed maybe, like sneezing sometimes when I will be in the dust, in an
But it
environment where
didn't
I
it didn't control your life.
not at all,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because most of the time my house is clean and I'm in a like very clean environment. So I'm fine. It didn't really affect me at all.
So, it seemed like every time you started to understand your symptoms more as you progressed through that journey that you were on, you would try to explain it to your doctors, and then they would prescribe you a new medication. And I kept hearing your symptoms get dramatically worse for every medication you took. So, what was your experience like going and trialing all those pharmaceuticals?
Oh my God. That's a question to be, it needs more than like 10 minutes to be answer that
Yeah.
question, because I could write a book about it actually. I tried not to try the medication because every medication that the doctor will give me, like first of all, for example, I will go to the doctors after I had COVID and they will say, "Oh, but you're young and you're not supposed to have these symptoms. These symptoms happen to the old people. Old people have these symptoms like high pressure, blood pressure, and then I think they will say, I think it's an anxiety. So we're gonna describe for you like medication as Xanax or, antidepressants." I was not into that. I was outgoing. I couldn't wait to like go out in the sun, but I couldn't physically do it.
Yeah.
And then I will argue with them like, hey, it's really like I will go back and there was no hope. There was nothing like they could do for me.
But
They
how
gave me a
how
lot of
would how would the
medication. Uh,
pharmaceuticals affect you? So what were some of the symptoms and drawbacks from taking those that you experienced?
one thing I noticed, one thing I noticed that when I had antibiotics or medication like anti-allergic medication, my breathing will get very bad
Hmm.
and I have to stop them immediately. So it will get extra more, like way more worse than it already was. And it will leave like very bad lingering symptoms for like weeks. So yeah, I think the main symptoms that I will experience is the breathing. It will really affect the breathing, most of the medication. And I didn't have that issue. I had that issue after recovering from COVID, which medication really affect me in a kind of way that I couldn't expect me to affect that way. So yeah, they will affect the breathing, the brain fog. They will make things a little bit worse than it already is for like a week till the medication will go away.
I know you ha continued to have these breathing problems for a long time, and you showed me some tests that you had that were abnormal. And as we had spoke more, and I told you about my experiences and how the environment had affected me, you had started thinking that you might have some type of allergy. You were still wondering if the COVID virus was still affecting you. And so it was really, I think it was hard for you to come to terms with how the environment was affecting you. But I want to share with everyone today two messages that Ben had sent me. And I previously asked him for his permission to share these with everybody so that everyone listening can get a feel for what he went through. So this was back in December of last year. Ben reached out to me and he said, "Hey Scott, I'm really sorry, man, but I don't know what to do. I'm in tears writing this message because I think I'm losing hope. And never in my entire life have I been this way. I'm stuck in a very bad place. Remember my breathing, Scott? It's not good at all. I was never in this position. Never. It feels like I'm in my last days of life. I don't have anxiety when I'm texting this message to you. I swear I've done so many tests before, including spirometry breathing tests, which show the lungs work well. and how well the lungs work, sorry, and it has shown not good results. And there's been no improvement with all the medication that we did, including IV anti-inflammatory drugs. It helped a bit, but my pulmonologist said there is something wrong with my air canals. I believe they're swollen and are not allowing air in. So my allergist did a test that showed I'm allergic to something. This was before you told me to stop taking medication. Now I'm taking it, but my point is I tried it and it's so weird how things can change so fast. 2 weeks ago, I was running and having fun, and now I'm struggling and I can't do anything that will bring me joy anymore. I don't want to die, Scott. I just want to live and spend time with my family and mom, and I'm not giving up. I'm just scared. I want a big hug and to get out of this thing. It sucks. I'm a good person and I've never done anything bad in my life. I didn't even smoke at all as I'm 22 years old. I'm tired and fatigued and not getting good quality of sleep. My face looks tired. People can see it miles away. You've probably been in this situation multiple times. Can you shed light on how this situation that I'm in and what's happening exactly? I'm struggling with lots of symptoms, allergic reactions, especially breathing attacks like yesterday, and fatigue. I don't know what causes it. I had breathing problems before, but not like this. And will this allergic thing and breathing attacks continue to worsen? At this point, I just want to talk about it with you because no one understands how it actually is. And so in my long conversations with Ben, I'm picking this message out because this was really where I think Ben hit his low point. And I think at this point he finally accepted, okay, something's got to change. And I think he started listening to me and said, okay, I'm going to get myself into better air quality. And he moved. And 2 weeks later, he let me know that he started feeling better. And then I got this message for him from him back in April. And he reached out and he said, hey there, it's been a while since we talked. And I have to say, you really helped me understand the power of a good environment. It makes such a difference. I'm living in a great place now and I haven't had any issues with my breathing. I've also haven't eaten any sugar since we last talked. I've actually lost 6 pounds and I feel so much healthier. I hope you're doing well too. So this is really I want to share this because it really shows the contrast. It's almost like I got messages from two different people. Like you didn't sound the same at all. You sounded like two totally different people messaging me.
No.
And so I want to ask you now that I've shared that back again. Um, can you please explain how this moving into a place with better air quality, how did that affect you?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you directly since we're here. Scott was one of the, I think I have to say, was the only person that understood what I really struggled. It's different when you have something, and you like have you're sick or whatever, and then you tell someone, a healthy person, they will understand it, but not to a point where like you'll feel the comfort that it was like, yeah, I know how it is, or I know how you feel. So Scott was the only person who actually knew how I felt and how I struggled. So yeah, I want to thank you directly. And answering your question, yeah, after I hit ups and downs with the doctors, and that I was getting sick with the appointments, and like I was kind of losing hope because there was nothing that any medication could actually help me. I starting understanding and believing Scott in a way that I should definitely try this. It's not gonna hurt. Try a way that it's healthy and it's gonna help you probably. So yeah, after we had multiple conversation, um, I decided to go to a more better quality air. And when I went there, it didn't even take that long, like 3 to 4 days, and
Yeah.
I started feeling that. fresh of air I was breathing.
Yeah.
Like I went to more of a sea place, like where it's like the ocean, and there was no cars moving or like so yeah, like in 3 4 days I was like starting breathing better. My brain fog was getting way more better, and I also eliminated some sugar and those other stuff that Scott mentioned. And yeah, it really changed me. Honestly, when I heard the message that you read before and after, hearing that, I don't see that person anymore. I don't see. I believe it. I believe him because it is true, but I don't see him like I'm glad I don't see him in that spot anymore. So
Ben, I
yeah,
gotta
yeah,
say,
I I I,
I
I really
I'm very happy to see you smiling. I mean, this is the whole point of this discussion here is so that other people can try things
absolutely.
that are working, that are making people feel better. And the fact that this has changed your life, I mean, it means a lot to me too, because I've been in that place that you were in, and I know what it's like. And it's so scary. And so I have my final question for you is, do you have like other viewers out there who they just got sick with chronic fatigue and long COVID and things like that, and they were like what you were, where they're scared and alone and their breathing is affecting them and they're worried about dying and they don't know what to do? What advice do you have for those people who are there right now?
Hope. There is hope. There's a way out. When I had this, I was like, oh, what is gonna happen? I'm losing life, I'm losing hope. I'm young. I'm not supposed to have this. I should be like going out. And I was like, is this the end? Like, what is happening? Like, I'm not supposed to have this. And at some point, some few weeks and months went by, I accept it, which is very important. Accept what you have and have hope and be patient. Be patient with yourself. Those are the main three things that I suggest. And also, as Scott said, if you can go to a better place like air quality, it doesn't hurt. It actually benefits every person in any way. So go in a place where it's more like fresh air, have a good environment, also have a good support system. Those people who don't believe you, doctors or whatever, don't pay that much attention. Or if someone says you have an anxiety or you have, don't 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 let that affect you. Just be kind to yourself, and as I said, try your best to you'll get over it. You will at some point. Your symptoms will start getting better, and just keep going.
Ben, that's a wonderful message. I think you said it really well. And I want to thank you for having the courage to come on here today and share with all these other people that are struggling like you were. I'm glad to see that you're sitting up straight and you're talking and you're composed and yeah, you seem like a different person now. So I'm incredibly happy for you and I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate, and to everyone who's listening, thank you for listening. I want to thank everyone who whatever they go through. I just want to thank them, and I want a hug, as I said in the conversation. So I will give this hug to everyone. Even if it's not virtual, I will give it in this conversation. So I want to thank everyone, and I also want to thank you for shining light to this and then helping people understand more better about long COVID.
Okay. Thank you, Ben. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye.